hit the ceiling. Hands up.
Sanbonani kamangu Nosipho, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is my second of 2019 and we're going to be having an interactive sort of video. I'm going to be doing a question and answer session. So on my YouTube community page, if you don't know where that is, go to my channel, click channel, swipe right a few times. Somewhere there is community, and under there so far I've posted 2 pictures, and under the second picture I asked you to ask me some questions for a Q&A session, and quite a few of you guys interacted with me on that question, or rather on that picture. So I'm really excited that you guys are interacting with me on my community page. I am going to be posting a lot more on there. I also want to post some videos on there as well, like little snaps and more pictures on there, so I can interact with you guys in between my videos. And I also asked on Instagram, the questions tab, asked you guys to give me any last minute questions for this video, and we got quite a few questions on there as well. So I haven't decided if this is going to be very one long video, or it's going to be part 1 and part 2, but you will see. If it says part 1, it means I split it in 2. If it's one long video, then get some coffee, get some water, make a smoothie. I should have done that. And do enjoy the video, and if your questions have been answered in this video, do please comment down below. Let me know that I answered your question, or if you think I answered it sufficiently. And if it hasn't, and if you have anything else to ask me, then feel free to say that in the comments down below. But until the next clip, enjoy this Q&A. I got some nice questions, so I hope you guys do enjoy it. I'm going to enjoy making this, I know that for sure. So until the next clip, I love you all, and God ever stay blessing you. Mwah. Then the next question is from Matodzi Tandavatu. I hope I said that right. And it says, what are the top 5 lessons you've learned in 2018? So the top 5 lessons that I learned in 2018, I think top of the list would probably be that God is always able. That was my biggest lesson of 2018. Number 2 would be consistency is key. In the stages of my life where I've been consistent and where I've been dedicated to being consistent, I've seen really great results. So consistency is definitely key. That's number 2. I've also learned, number 3, that life won't always go the way that you want it to go, and that's okay. Just roll with the punches and keep it moving, because many things have changed in my life between 2018 and now, that I didn't expect to change, or things that I expected to be constant. So I think I could have been buried under those things and decided to quit, or whatever it is that I guess people do when they're deciding to give up, but I kept it moving. So it's really important to learn that even when things don't go your way, there's always a plan, and keep going at it, and you'll eventually see the bigger picture at the end of the day. Number 4 is that family is everything, because I think as I mentioned in my taking stock video, one of the ones I did last year, we almost lost my aunt in January of last year, and I've never had a scare like that in my life of a family member that's so close. And I just feel like to that point, I've been loving my family and loving my family members, but not loving them with all of me. And after that, I realized that life is way too short for you not to be giving the people that deserve your all everything that you can, and that's what I've been doing. And that's why for me, family definitely is everything, and that's why I'm loving my family the best way that I can and to the best of my ability. And number 5 would be, things always look up at the end of the day. There's a silver lining, there's a light at the end of the tunnel. It's always gonna keep shining. So you should never look at your situation now and look at where you are now and be like, this is the end of me, I can't do more than this, I'll never come out of this. Pretty much there's nothing left for you. You should always remember that God will never put more on you than you can bear, and if He's given it to you, or if it's in your life, He definitely is there to help you carry it through, or rather He's there to carry you through it. And then Jody Apple says, what do you eat when you're in a hurry and can't prepare a whole meal? I love your videos. So my eating habits are horrendous, guys. I shouldn't be giving anybody advice about eating. I don't eat breakfast, number 1, because like I said, I mentioned what my morning looks like. I don't have time. If anything that I can do, I make a smoothie. Then I go to the hospital and work pretty much the whole day till about 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, and by that time I'm coming home and I have to fetch my sister from school. Then I eventually come home. Then when we come home, it's exercise time, we run for a bit, then I chill and watch the Crime Channel and CSI and Bones and anything that I can catch up on, Criminal Minds and Law and Order. and then after that it's supper time. So on an average day, honestly, I probably eat twice a day. And if I can't make a meal, I think maybe the thing that I can say I make these days is a smoothie. But for the most part, my eating habits are terrible. And I also live at home as well. So whenever I'm home, my mom cooks. For the most part, if I don't have the, because I mean, not even if I don't have the time to cook, or I don't help out in terms of the cooking as much as I'd like to at home. Definitely on the weekends I cook and stuff, but like not during the week. So yeah, I just eat what's there, man. And I've been living off of smoothies for the most part, so that would be the main thing. When I come up with a proper routine, or my lifestyle changes, or things get good, I'll definitely answer this question more comprehensively, and hopefully I'll have something better to say than the rubbish that I've just said. Then Zintle Shabs asks, when will you be graduating? I am graduating in the first week of December 2019. Then Jolie Maketo asks, would you like to have your own practice? Maybe one day. It would just depend on what specialty I eventually choose to have. If I am going to go into plastics, I'm definitely going to have a private or a private surgery or a private practice. If I go into psychiatry, I definitely will have a private practice. If I go into trauma, I'm probably going to work in state for the rest of my life. And if I work in anesthesia, you can't have a anesthesia practice, so you can work in private, but you can't have a private practice. So that's why I say it depends on what I end up doing. But yeah, maybe one day I'll probably open like a little mini hospital if I have like a lot of money. If I marry someone with a lot of money that can support me. But I would like to open like a hospital to like help ease the burden of like the crazy healthcare demand in this country. It would be nice. It would be free as well. I wouldn't be doing like a private hospital where people are gonna pay out of their noses. It will also be like a free a free institution that people can come and use, and people can come and access healthcare, hopefully high quality healthcare at no cost to them. Then Di Setimela says, I tend to get busy during my school semester. I literally go to school and straight back home and sleep, and in turn I spend less time with God. What would you suggest to help? Because I feel really terrible when I'm pulling back from my responsibilities as a child of God. And I think I also answered this question a few questions up with my devotion routine, and how I said you just need to make your relationship with God a fluid thing. Make sure that like if you do have time when you're standing thinking about rubbish, pray. If you do have a little bit more time, like I said, when I drive in between going to home and coming back from work, going to school and coming back from school, then I pray there. So just try and make your interaction with God a part of your life in a way that fits for you and that fits with you. And the more you build that, and the more you build those spiritual muscles, then the easier it will get to incorporate God and spirituality in your life, as opposed to like this is beating yourself up because you haven't done it. So even if you start with 5 minutes in the day, 5 minutes in the morning, take some time to pray, then when you add some more time, make it 10, make it 15. Because if you actually think about the things that you waste time doing, like if you're scrolling on Instagram for 2 hours, one of those 2 hours you could have used to spend time with God, So also reevaluate where you're spending your time and what you're putting your time into. And if you can take away some time from all of those things and make God the priority in your life. There's a song by Jonathan McReynolds that says make room, and he says he makes room for what he loves, or rather we make room for what we love, we make room for what is important to us, we make room for what we want. So if you can make room for all of those things, then you can definitely try and make room for God. So just figure it out in a way that works for you. And one big advice that I could give is like, if you think you need to pick up your phone and go on social media, that would be a great time to pray. Or that would be a great time to give some time to God. That would be a great time to give some praise to God, because then you're realizing that you're about to spend a good amount of your time doing something redundant, and genuinely social media is very useless in our lives in the grander scheme of things. So you're spending time doing something that genuinely is actually not very beneficial to you, as opposed to using that time to spend with God. So fit it in where you can, and the more you build your spiritual muscle, the easier it will get and the better you'll get in relationshiping with God. Then the next question is from Esmi Zwite. She says, as a medical student, how do you manage your time, like always being in social media and attending things, that being events, and how do you manage all of that? So to be honest, if you look at the amounts of events that happened in 2018 and you look at how many of those events I attended, I don't attend things very often. So I rarely ever get the time to attend as many events as other people do, because I'm at school. So for me, I actually don't have the time to attend those things as much as I would like to, and for that reason I don't. So I think because maybe I posted like a video here and there, it seems like I may be very, very involved in the social media space, or influencer space as like people like to call it. But in reality, I actually am very little involved as much as other people are. So I think I've also like recognized that it's okay, because my priority for me is graduating from medical school. And as much as social media is something that I guess has become a part of my life, it isn't my primary objective and it isn't my main thing in life. So I need to focus on what's important. And that's actually what's kept me away from attending things when I know I don't have the time. Because if you think about it, most of these events are at night, or even if they're during the day, I am at school. And then also when you go to an event, I can't just go to all of these events in my scrubs, because that doesn't fit. I also need to honor the people that are inviting me, or rather respect the people that are inviting me, who put together this amazing event for me to attend. So I'd need to get dressed up for it, I'd need to put on makeup for it. So I just don't have the time to do it effectively, which is why I don't do it very often, as opposed to in December, where I managed to attend quite a few events because I was on break. So the answer to that question is I actually don't have the time, and because I don't do it as often as I would be expected to. Then the last two questions on my YouTube community page are from Ndumi Tobachale. And the first question is, how do you keep your skin looking flawless, girl? Any daily skincare routine? And the second one is, how do you cope with medical school? How do you keep motivated? And how do you get encouraged to do your best in varsity? So the first question being my skincare routine. So I have been saying that I'm gonna come like do one of these soon, but I think the main thing, again, for me to reiterate, as I did in my Accutane video, but it's an old video so many people may have not watched it, but the reason why my skin is flawless, as you guys may think, I don't think it's that flawless, but the reason why my skin is clear is because I used Accutane to clear my skin. And especially if you use Accutane after puberty, and pretty much into your adult years, where you're like combating adult acne, Accutane is like 100% cure to acne, pretty much, except for some people here and there who may have some relapses in their acne. But for me, it worked the way it's supposed to work. It cured my acne 100%, and I haven't had problems with my skin since then. So the reason why my skin is clear is because I took Accutane, and that's why my skin is clear. However, in terms of a skincare routine, I pretty much do what everybody else does. I will make like a skincare routine video when I come up with like a more comprehensive one, because I don't want it to be like, oh, I wash my face and I put moisturizer on my face, that's it, because that's pretty stupid and that's like a waste of your dollar to watch. So when I come up with like a comprehensive one, I will make it. But like I'm saying again, it's really important for you to realize that that's not why my skin is clear. My skin is clear because I took Accutane. That made my skin perfect, and pretty much now I just have to like maintain my skin that way. And the only thing that I really do struggle with here and there is hyperpigmentation, like I mentioned often, around my mouth area and around my eyes and my forehead. That's a bit darker than the rest of my face, but otherwise pimples are not a thing for me. So I don't want to like deceive you and give you products and a skincare routine when actually my skin is clear because I took medication to clear my skin. Now moving on to the second section of the Q&A, which is the questions that I got off of Instagram. And thinking about this, I think it may be a wise idea to have this video split into two, as a part 1 and a part 2. But let's get into the Instagram questions. So the first question is from Julia Sagam, and she says, how do you stay so beautiful and polished as a medical student? I feel like I never have the time. I don't even know where this question comes from, because like I don't wear makeup at school. I literally just wake up in the morning, bath, I put on my wig. Maybe that's the only thing that's like fancy that I do, but I don't wear makeup to school, not a shred, not even like mascara. I don't wear makeup to school. So I look the same way when I wake up in the morning as when I go to school. So I don't, that's really like flattering if you think that I look beautiful all the time, because I feel like I look crusty all the time. Definitely don't look like this all the time. So yeah, I mean, I just wake up and go. So thank you so much that you think I look very beautiful though, but like I don't make an effort into trying to look great for school. I just wake up and go, because just as much as you don't have the time, I don't have the time either, boo. The next question is Mboweni Tsepang, and Tsepang says, morning Dr. Bay, I need advice on how you manage to cope with matric pressure and tips. So I think this I'll probably answer, or maybe not even probably answer, if you go watch my how to get into medical school from high school video. I think there I like pretty much touch on how to deal with pressure, or how to work towards a goal. Maybe you're not trying to become a doctor, but like it's working towards passing matric. But I think I'll also like make a separate video for this, because this is like a whole comprehensive thing on its own, and it might like be difficult to answer in the setting, and I also actually want to take time to think about it properly and plan for it properly. So Zipang, look out on my channel for, I think I'm going to do like a study tips in general video, which I think can apply across the board. So look out for that video. Your study tips and dealing with pressure and all of that will be in that video, and hopefully you find that helpful. The next question is from Sibo Siale, and Sibo says, which country would you like to travel to soon and why? So the country that I'd love to travel to soon and why is actually the Maldives. I think that's an island. I think those are like, it's a collection of islands. I don't think it's necessarily a country. I can't even tell you which country it's in. Can you see I don't have the money to be planning these things, which is why I haven't invested in planning it. But the Maldives is such a beautiful place, and I think I saw it also on Amanda Dupont's vlog where she went to the Maldives, I think, with her fiance, or then became fiance, and I just thought that it was such a beautiful place. And also Palisa and Dogozo, who are people that I know that got married recently, also went to the Maldives for their honeymoon. So I've been seeing like a lot of Maldives-y content, and I mean, those white beaches and blue ocean are definitely for me. So I think I'd love to go there first, because it's a beautiful island, and I feel like at heart, somewhere deep inside, I'm an island girl. So I would love to go to an island first, or a place like that first, because I know I'll love and enjoy it, and then I can like travel the world and go to busy places and whatever. Because I mean, for me also, I'm not necessarily like a luxury brand person either, so like going to New York or places like that to shop and spend money are not a vibe for me. But like I feel like going to an island or a place like that is more of an experience, and I'll definitely enjoy that. So that's why on my list that is number 1. Then Mimi King asked 2 questions. What are my plans after I graduate? That I've answered before. And then what do you want to specialize in? That I've answered before as well. But my plans, I think immediate plans after I graduate is obviously doing internship. So I just need to still choose a place where I want to go do internship. I haven't decided. I'm thinking of like a secondary hospital or a district hospital, or a regional hospital, as opposed to a tertiary institution. Hey, tertiary hospitals are a mess. It's not a nice environment to work in. It's too busy. You don't get to learn a lot because you're paper pushing most of the time as an intern. You just do ward work and take bloods, and you're overworked. And I mean, I'll just have to see the HPCSA guidelines on what I can apply for and where I can go. But I don't plan on going to Para, for instance. That's definitely for sure. If I end up there, you know that DOH did me dirty, and that's why I ended up there. But yeah, I plan on doing internship. Where? I don't know yet at the moment. Then the next question, or next 2 questions, are from Nobusa S_S, and she says, have I treated my family or my friends, and if so, do I make them pay? I can't do this because I am not a doctor yet. However, I have like helped my family, my immediate family, my aunt who has hypertension. I have like pretty much, if she's had a problem, managed her at home and then sent her to our family doctor, telling her what it is that she needs to tell the family doctor that he needs to do. So I've done it in that way, but I haven't given people like medication or anything directly. And then how do I juggle work, school, and influencing? I think I've also kind of mentioned that above. But in terms of, and even influencing, I don't think I'm a real influencer at all. I feel like there are people that are like actually working that are like influencers. I don't see myself as one of those. But how I juggle it is like right now I am home and I have a little bit of free time, so I'm sitting in front of the camera and I'm filming. This is difficult for me to manage though, because I do get really lazy sometimes, and it's like a better option for me to sleep or not do this. Sorry, like my hair's annoying me. But when I can find the time for it, I make the time for it and I film. And I think I've also gotten, or rather I want to teach myself to get into the routine of recording and filming and creating content in advance. I've also partnered with a photographer that I'm going to start working with coming from next week, where I'm going to create content in bulk so that I have a lot of stuff to post on my social media as well. So I'm just trying to find a way to make the social media stuff that I like doing and that I enjoy doing work for me, in the sense that I can fit it in my schedule. But when I find time, I use that time for social media. And if I don't have time, that's usually when the dry seasons come, and then you don't see any content from me. But I'm trying to curb that by, like I'm saying, filming in advance, which is a very, very big tip for anybody that I can give. And my friend Gatli does it all the time, Tandi Gama does it all the time, Vongai does it all the time. And I mean, that really helps you have a lot of content to film in advance. And then the pictures as well, like I mentioned, I'm gonna start filming, or rather producing in bulk, and that will help me and my lifestyle. So if you're trying to make it work, find a way that you can make it balance for you or make it work for you, and see if that works. And if it doesn't, adjust a bit and try something else. Then the next question is from Ellie Princessa, and she says, how do you stay motivated even when you feel like giving up? Life can be really hard sometimes, and I feel like I've answered this like twice or thrice, but again, I feel like you need to take the time to feel and experience your emotions. Live in the present. If you feel like you're sad now, experience your sadness. Don't shove it away in a corner or hide it. Just as much as happiness is an emotion that needs to be felt and experienced, experience your sadness, experience your disappointment, experience the bad emotions as much as you experience the good. Because if you don't deal with them, then you're going to pack them up on a shelf, and eventually they are going to overwhelm you, and then you're going to feel completely incapable of handling them. So when things come and when you feel like life is hard, experience that. But it's always really important to remind yourself that that's not where your story ends. After you felt the disappointment, after you've been sad, and after all of the tears have been shed, pretty much the pillow's wet, then pick yourself up. So if you feel very overwhelmed by things, and if you feel things are difficult, first take it to the main person who can actually help you, which is God, not me. I'm definitely just as much as you are burdened and you are troubled and you're experiencing things and you're going through things. My advice may be flawed, and I may just pretty much give you or project my experience on you, but you know that God will never fail you. So start there first, and after you've laid your troubles and your cares at the feet of Jesus, get up feeling free, because you know that he'll deal with your situations in the best way that he knows how. But the big thing is keep going, because your journey doesn't end in the pit or in the ditches or in the bad things of life. If you look back on your own life, you'll see that there's many times where you feel like it was the end for you, but you overcame it. So continue in that way. Realize it's not the end for you and continue with life. The next question is from Memory Love, and she says, hey, how are you? When are you visiting Namibia? By the way, I'm a huge diehard fan. Thank you so much, Memory. I really appreciate that. And when I get money, aka when I'm employed, then I'll definitely visit Namibia. I've actually also never considered like visiting African countries. Maybe I should start like my travel journey in Africa and then go out to like the rest of the world. The next question is from Aviwe, and she says, hey, did you pass your driver's license at first attempt? This is an interesting question. And how was the experience? So I did pass my driver's license first time. It was a terrifying experience. However, I'd been driving since I was 13, so I was quite the seasoned driver by the time I went for my driver's license. I think the only thing that was difficult for me was unlearning habits. Like, I had learned perfect clutch balancing by then, so the steep and whatever for me wasn't a thing. Parking wasn't a thing. It's just that my unlearned habits, like I don't drive with two hands on the wheel, which may be bad advice to be giving, but I drive like my dad, like a Ginza, because my dad told me how to drive. I drive with one hand, so it was just the, what's this, 9 to 3 thing I struggled to do, the push and pull thing I struggled to do. But otherwise for me, the experience itself was okay, and because I was a seasoned driver, as I mentioned, I did pass the first time. The next question is from Hope Ngonyama, and she says, looking forward to joining the Noble Art next year. What's the lucky hospital? As I mentioned, I don't know yet. Hopefully I'll know soon, or I'll be able to figure out soon where it is that I want to go for internship. Then the next question is from Kia Maleka, and it says, what are your opinions on marijuana? Do you do it, and would you date someone that does? So every time I think of marijuana, guys, I think of my time at Sterkies, and I think of cannabis-induced psychosis. Like, it's a real thing that, like, weed makes people go crazy, or weed makes people that are predisposed to having, or rather mental health disorders, get those mental health disorders. And once your mind is gone, guys, it's gone. Like, it's not a vibe there, it's Sterkies, hey. So I don't smoke, mainly because I've got like bronchitis, or I was born with bronchitis and I struggled with it throughout my life. So I don't smoke anything. Like, I don't smoke cigarettes or marijuana or habli. I don't smoke anything because I can't tolerate it. I've attempted to smoke hab once and I like burst into a fit of coughing and almost died, so that isn't for me. But besides that, the smoking of marijuana, like I'm saying, for me, from a medical perspective especially, because you don't know how weak your mind is. Like, there's stories of people there at the hospital or at Sterkies who've smoked weed once and then got cannabis-induced psychosis, as opposed to maybe people who will smoke it for like 10-15 years and nothing happens to them, or people who will smoke it for 5 years and then get CIP. So I think it's just really important to guard your mind as far as you can, because like I'm saying, as far as it's gone, or rather as soon as it's gone, it's gone. So I mean, I wouldn't advise people to smoke marijuana. I tell this to my friends very often as well, the ones that do smoke. I'm always telling them that I don't want them to end up in statkies because I'm not gonna visit them. But yeah, I don't encourage people to do it, and I think because I don't encourage people to do it, I'd struggle to date someone that doesn't. The next question is from Angel Lately, and she asked what are my favorite perfumes. So my favorite perfumes is La Vie Belle from Lancome. It is Lucky from Dior. It is Narciso Rodriguez for her that I've been using for years. Since my Get to Know Me tag, I've still been using that perfume. And what else do I like? I think pretty much that's my top. Those are my, and Daisy, Marc Jacobs Daisy, the one with the white flower lid. So those are my top favorite perfumes at the moment. And Opium as well. Opium is very, very nice. Opium is very nice. I like that one. Black Opium is very, very nice. I really like that scent as well. The next question is from Sipume Zechibo, and she says, love you and your channel. Please tell us about buying a wig from F Sister Wig and how it was. So the hair, this hair that I have on right now is the hair from the, and actually guys, how good does my wig still look? Just a side note. So this wig I actually got from F Sister Wig. They sent it to me. I didn't buy it. So the hair that I've received from F Sister Wig, I didn't buy. It was sponsored, or rather given to me for a review. But in terms of the people that have bought the wig after I pretty much did the video, and people that have bought wigs when seeing it on other influencers or other people that have worked with F Sister, people have said they've had a great experience with F Sister Wig and have enjoyed working with them. But I mean, in terms of what I can say for me is that a week from when this wig was shipped, or rather when I was told the wig was going to be shipped, I received it. I've had great interaction with the seller, so I haven't had any problems, but I didn't purchase the hair myself. The next question is from Black Opal, and it says, do I still believe in love? Yes, of course. God is love, so I definitely believe in love. I just am not in a relationship at the moment. However, love and marriage is a beautiful thing created by God. I believe in the institution of marriage, and I think it's still a true thing and a beautiful thing that people should embark on. I mean, a life alone is a very lonely life, so whatever form of companionship that you can find, or rather how you want to do companionship, whether you want to get married or you don't want to get married, or you just want to live together, whatever it is, I think it's really, really important to find someone that you can do life with, man. Why would you want to do life alone? Life sucks enough alone. So it's very beautiful when you do it with someone else. Just make sure that you choose the right person and choose the love that you know that you deserve, because God loves you with an unsurmountable love. So just make sure that whoever you choose to love you loves you very close to that. The next question is by Ntabe, and she says, where did you cut your hair? I really love the cut and I love your channel. So there's a video on my channel where I actually vlogged where I cut my hair, but I cut my hair at a salon called Le Lux at Mall of the South. So if you want that information or all of those details, you can go watch that vlog, because I actually vlogged me cutting my hair. The next question is from Yogi Sings, and she asks, what keeps you motivated? I love you so much and you're my inspiration. And I think I've answered this quite a few times already, so hopefully that answers comprehensively as well. If you want anything else for me to say, or rather if you want me to say anything else about it, do ask down below. Then the next question is from Nyameka MK, and it says, what keeps you driven and what keeps you motivated to carry on even when things get rough? By the way, I love you lots. I love all of you guys, and I love you especially because you've said you love me. But I think I answered this as well. I guess you guys think like I'm a really driven and motivated person. Hey, that's very inspiring. Thank you. I'm glad that I make my tough life look easy, because it genuinely is not. I struggle so much. But if you guys think I make it look easy, then thank you, because it means I'm carrying myself with class. Okay, the next question is from Tando in the City. It says, how much were your braces? More information about it. So my braces in total were about 25,000 Rand. I just had to pay a deposit of 6,000 Rand for the brackets, and then I paid the rest of the money over my entire braces period. So every time I'd go to my orthodontist, I'd pay 800 Rand, but my orthodontist has since retired, so I don't think it's very helpful for me to give you his details or information. But every orthodontist has a way that they work, but for the most part everybody allows you to have a payment plan. So you'll always have to pay the deposit for the braces, for the brackets that they need to purchase, and for the initial braces installation. But after that, as far as I know, all orthodontists work on an installment policy or an installment premise, unless if you have that 30k or 40k or however much they charge you to pay once off, then you can do that, and you probably even get a discount off that because they take away the interest. But yeah, my braces were 25,000 rand, and I had them for 3 years, so I paid 6,000 first, and then the rest of the money over the duration of the 3 years. And the next question is from Wendy Masilela. How are you able to maintain balance being an influencer? And you would agree? I think I answered this too as well. But again, I don't rate myself as a real influencer. But thank you so much if you think that I've got everything together. I don't, but it's great to know that you think I do. The next question is from Miss Ntabi saying, hey boo. Hey boo. She says, what inspires you? You're doing so much and you're doing it well. What drives you? You guys really think I've got my life together, hey? That's so awesome for me. Like, oh guys, I feel like I'm in shambles half the time, but like, this is so inspiring for me to think that people think that I'm doing the things and I'm making the parts and I'm making them well. But yeah, I think I answered this already as well. And then Tabby asks again, if there was a powerful woman that you'd love to have lunch with, who would it be? This is a beautiful question. Who would it be? Maybe let me say a few women. I think I definitely would like to have lunch with Oprah. I definitely think that would have been a vibe for me. I mean, Oprah, it speaks for itself, or she speaks for herself. Beyonce, because I'm a die-hard Beyonce stan, and I value Beyonce's work ethic, man. Basically how Beyonce carries herself and how she carries her craft and what she does, I respect Beyonce to the nines. So Oprah, Beyonce. But yeah, so the last question was from Tabby, and I enjoyed this Q&A. Wow guys, you guys had so many questions. I didn't realize that it was this many questions. Oh, I did. I just didn't realize that, like, you know, when I was reading the questions, it didn't seem like it was that many until you start answering them and you realize that it's paragraph. So I hope this wasn't boring or too long for you. But I did enjoy it, and I think I've learned a lot. Like, you guys really think I'm like an inspiring person and that I'm doing great and you appreciate me, and that makes me so happy, because you know, sometimes it's like really discouraging to feel like maybe what you're doing isn't making a difference in people's lives, or people aren't really being touched by what you're doing, or you're not reaching people in the way that you want to reach them. But I can see that I am, and I really appreciate you guys reminding me that I am so much. Thank you so much for supporting me, man. Thank you for the questions. I appreciate them. I enjoyed answering the questions, and I hope you guys learned a thing or two from there. But if there's anything specifically you want me to expand on from these questions, please do let me know down below, kind of like that study tips question, because it would be too long for me to answer them in this video. But yeah, I think I definitely need a smoothie now, or like ice cream or something nice, because I've been talking for like an hour. So hopefully I can cut this down and make it short enough. But I hope you guys enjoyed my Q&A session. I enjoyed doing it or making it for you guys. And yeah, stay motivated, stay amazing. Remember, it's not the end of your story if you fall. Pick yourself up and go be great. I love you all, and God ever stay blessing you.